Good evening, everybody. Spiced, smoked, pickled, preserved. Um, it's all about going back in time. It's all about food. And we have the author with us, Indranee Ghosh. And very soon we'll be joined by the lady who is also, incidentally, another Indranie, Dasgupta, who is going to join us from Wayanad. Now, Waynard of late, for very many different reasons, has become much in the news, but she is going to come and join us from Waynard. She has collaborated with the Waynard Indrani has collaborated with the Kolkata Indrani, and that's how this we are going to. That's what we are going to talk about. Now, a quick introduction to both the Indranis. Now, I'm going to have a problem because there is an Indrani and there is an Indrani. So when both of them come in, well, I guess I'll have to just leave them to themselves and step out, which I think would be the best thing to do. And so what we will be doing is, and Kahaani Kancheti, we are almost every week, we are taking on a streaming program, discussing books, discussing anything to do with what is called art and culture. We will give you our YouTube link. We will ask you to visit our YouTube channel, and I would like you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hopefully, one day, with all your subscriptions, we might just about start monetizing. There's no harm dreaming. We keep doing that. So, and we have a website, which also the link will give you, www.kahanikancheti.in. So anything to do with Kahani stories, everything, it's all here in Kahaani Kancheti. And one of the major things that we do is to take on book discussions. So, without much of my speech, which I think I have made and it's over, let me first call in Indranee Ghosh. Now, this is the author Indranee coming in from Kolkata. So there she is. Hello, Indranee.
Hello, hello.
Hello. I'm just trying to sound like one of those Yankee anchors, those CBS kind of variety, trying to yell on the screen. That's what it is like. So, and having done that, this time I'll have to call in the other Indranee. Now you see Indrani and Indrani. So you will have to sort it out.
Hi.
And hi Indrani. And the other Indrani, the one with an IE, has come all the way from Wayanad, about which I was talking to you just now. And yesterday we were told that it's very cold in Wayanad. I think Indranie Ghosh in Kolkata and Sujit in Gurgaon are having a bit of a muggy kind of a hoping the rains
Yes.
will happen. Yeah, there you are.
Sometimes you
now,
might find me using a tissue.
please use a tissue. She might be using a blanket. That's where you all both of all are. So, all right. Now, what are we going to talk about? But first thing, before we start the talking, and I'm sure there'll be lots to talk about, Indranee Ghosh and Indranee Dasgupta. That's, I think, the best
No,
way to.
Indrani. Oh, don't say Indrani.
Indrani.
Indranee. All right.
There's a story about our names, Judith.
Yeah, what is the story? Let's start with that.
During our time, we knew at least 5 or 6 Indranis, right?
Okay.
And
I know.
I remember. So, there's a trend in names. And during our time, Indrani was the name. And every name was spelled with an I at the end. So just before our SC exams, we were asked to confirm the spelling of name. So the two of us decided, look, we must be a little different. Let's not merge with the
I know,
herd.
so both of us together.
All right.
That was fun. And now we're stuck with that. But quite happily stuck with that.
Yes, absolutely.
But imagine from what you're saying, there must have been 7 varieties of Indranis, INDRNI, EE, IE, IEE. It could have gone on because there's so many Indranis that you come out with a separate, distinct identity. Now,
Yeah.
Indranee Ghosh
Yes.
schooled in Shillong. No, I'm not calling you. I'm just giving you a brief introduction
Okay.
to you. Yeah. and Indranie Dasgupta, also in Shillong, the same point of time. And both of them were in school together. They lived in Shillong together. Then both of them come to Kolkata. Indranee Ghosh joins Jadavpur University. Indranie Dasgupta joins Loreto. Am I going right so far,
No,
ladies?
no, chronologically, no. When she was in Loreto
Yes,
College, I was
Yeah.
in St. Mary's College in Shillong.
Okay, St. Mary's College. So, right. And then you all, any case,
I
came
did
to
my
Kolkata.
master's in Jadavpur.
She did her masters in Jadavpur. So,
Yeah.
and then being a master in
so
English, she became a
most
master knee. Uh, yeah, the word master knee meaning she
Master.
started teaching. She started teaching, and she became she used to teach in a school in Patobabon of all places, and then subsequently she went on to become a teacher with the government schools in West Bengal, and
No,
she taught
colleges. It was the college in that.
colleges. Yeah, I keep making this, মানে মানে ওই মাস্টার নি at the end of the day, মানে কলেজ স্কুল, মানে I know কলেজ মাস্টার নিজ have a
Chitkarok
little
is
bit,
what they call it. Lecturer
yeah,
is called Chitkarok.
অধ্যাপিকা, হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে, lecturer. So she lectured around, and then she wrote this book. She had written another book before this, a translation of the actress Kanon Devi's book, autobiography called Shabare Ami Nomi. She had done an English translation of that. And then she wrote this pickled, preserved, smoked, all kinds of combination. Now, Indranie Dasgupta in Wayland, from Wayanad, she has also collaborated in this book. Having given all this background, and Indranie, incidentally, very interesting, she starts off as a Montessori teacher. Acha, by the way, there is one comment for Indranie Dasgupta. This is the comment. Abhijit Dutt says, Indranie, what a terrific look. Right? Can you see that? Can you see that coming up?
Yes, I can.
So I thought,
makes my day always.
yeah. So I thought I must prop that up to say that, which is why, see, now he has also used the word terrific, and I had also used the word terrific about Pradeep's photography, because if the Bengalis find that is the one word which describes everything fantastic, terrific. Now, Indranie, a Montessori school teacher, then suddenly takes an interest in food. We also take interest in food, but she becomes the food stylist, and she illustrates. So, this combination of two friends in the same place at the same time, one of them writes a book, the other one collaborates with doing the food, and she even actually cooks some of the. But my question to start with, and I'm going to leave you all to do your own thing. What is this book about? Is it a food book? Is it a memoir? Is it a life gone by? It's about friendship? It's about what? Because you have everything, and you also have recipes.
Well, Shujit, both of us know in the past we have gone all over Kolkata trying food here and there, right? I've always been, very fond of eating. The thing is, they started out with the stories that have been in my mind, particularly when you're away from a place, then these memories, they're the only things you can cling to, right? So I used to tell my children these stories, and then my daughter, she said, "Why don't you write them down?" So I started writing them down, but I didn't even think of publishing or anything. I thought, well, maybe, if I have any grandchildren or when my children grow old, then they will know that, this is where their mother came from. And then what happened was when my daughter moved to Delhi, she was very young. She was about 20. She didn't know much of cooking, although she knew a bit. And she would keep calling me, asking me for this recipe, that recipe. Now, the thing is, when you're used to cooking, you're not used to measures as, precise measures. That's something I had to master. So if she'd say, how many onions, how much ginger, 2 inch, 1 inch, that kind of thing. And then I said, okay, I'm going to write it down. Now, then I always did have an interest in all books that had food in it, from Enid Blyton onwards. And therefore I decided, well, let's see what else I can do. And then I came across these Latin authors, Latin American authors. There was Andrea Camilleri, my favorite, Inspector Montalbano, and his lovely cook, Adelina, and the lovely things she makes, and all the recipes were there as well. And then I found Jorge Amado, same thing, Donna Flor and her two husbands. Now, so even if the interest was in detection or crime or a comic novel, it was always interspersed with these recipes which I found very interesting. And in fact, I tried them out, and from there I thought, well, why not combine stories and recipes? It would be a trope that one could explore. So that's how I started it, you see. And it went through many permutations and editing and everything, of course. And I was lucky that I had my agent, Sherna Kambata, who found me Hachette. And, well, their lovely editorial team. And then I thought of illustrations. Now, Indranie and I had shared our adolescent and teenage years together in Shillong, And although I knew about her food styling, her career ultimately, and I also read her interview in Cosmopolitan, and I did not know about her talent in illustrating until I saw a Facebook post that she had made, which was a picture of Shillong. And she said, she called it My Beloved Shillong. And I looked at it and I remembered it and I thought, this is the woman I want. Yeah. And that's why I sent her the text and she agreed. I was lucky. So,
I was scared actually. I was very scared to take on a thing like this because I've been drawing and illustrating, but I'm not done for publishing purpose. So it was lovely actually to come into this, and especially during this COVID time, I could put my whole attention into this and read your book. And every time I came across, all these vivid images happening in my head. So I tried to put it down as well as I could.
In fact, what I will
because
do
the
now
shared
that
culture, for instance, this picture, this picture, okay, let me see if I can show it to you. Oh no, I'm doing it
no,
wrong.
just put it up. You cover your face with it. Yeah.
It is
Now move
up,
it to
yes.
your right. Move it to your right. Okay.
Yeah,
Listen.
yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
You all don't have to do this exercise. This gym. I will fetch a couple of her illustrations which are with me and share it on the screen. And before, while you all were talking,
I wanted to say that she knew best because it was a shared culture, And for that basket, for instance, is something that Khasi women carry on their backs. It's called a khaw. And khaw, yes. So this khaw would only be known to her, And
all right. Okay.
and being used in the book, the designer obviously made a very good choice because it's a basket of stories, recipes, other things, So
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. In fact, we have been using her illustrations in all the posts that we have been putting up on our
Right.
social media, and obviously there's been a lot of appreciation. And a large number of your friends, I can see, other than our own audience, as I keep calling it, Kahaani audience, of which only two have come: Sheila Sanyal and Abhijit Dutt, and Suparna Chakravarti has also. These are the Kahaani audience. But then there are a whole lot of people. Oh, they should be also. But while I put you in a bit of a fix right now, because some of the others who have come and said hi are Mala Mitra, Gautami Ramesh, uh, and I mentioned Suparna, Abhijit, and Sheila. But then Vanita Vishwanath, this is a bit of spot of, well, you'll have to do some quizzing. This is what she asks. She says, which books did she mention? Now you just rattled off something in some books you mentioned. It was I was about to tell you that can we speak in English? Remember you?
The translations, working
Yeah, yeah.
and the
That's.
translations.
I was going to suggest that if we could. So you all keep talking. Let me pull up some of the.
I
Given.
mentioned Andrea Camilleri. Andrea Camilleri he died recently. He was a Sicilian writer, and in fact, he had also developed a kind of dialect in his books, which is not quite Sicilian, but uh, something that is a little different. And I mentioned Jorge Amado. There's a comic novel called Donna Flor and Her Two Husbands, one dead and one alive, but the other one visits as a ghost, and a lot of funny things happen. But Donna Flor, she starts a restaurant, and she has all the recipes there, what she cooks, right? So, yeah, those are the two I mentioned.
Right, and as you all talk, I keep pulling up. The first was an untitled illustration, but I'll keep pulling up a few as we go along.
Yeah.
But there's one big question that remains, and this is something that I thought was very Shillong, considering that it had the Ward Lake, and I don't know whether you went and did fishing in Ward Lake,
No,
but
no, this is the Umiam Lake. You weren't allowed to fish in what lake? This is the Umiam Lake, the Barapani.
Umiam, Barapani. Okay, so that's the Umiam Lake that's fishing in Barapani, and I am not quite a fishy guy. So yeah, they are really wonderful illustrations. They are really wonderful illustrations, and so when I first saw them, I said that man, we must have run this series with the illustration and the book, and so there you are. But question here to well, Indranee Ghosh to start with. Now, this is a bit of a case of, I must tell my viewers, it's getting to be a bit of a case of Thompson and Thompson. Now, which
Oh,
is the one with the,
Thompson.
yeah, which is the one with the P and without the P, I can't make out, but we'll go with it, okay? So,
Who's with the P and who's with the P? Okay.
excuse me,
Of
hang
course you
on.
would. Of course you would be.
By the way, somebody has paid me a compliment. Somebody has paid me a compliment. You all are all getting the compliment. This time I have got one. I'm putting it up. मेरा भी हक होता है. As a, yeah, this, Gautami says, I love this gentleman's humorous. See, there you are. Humorous way of conducting this talk in Indranie Dasgupta. You have never told me about this Kahaani group. I love story. Gautami, we are friends for life. And, Acha, and after this, see what I get. After this, see what I get. This is not funny. This fellow tells me, Shujit ki hoche. Ki hoche, Adda machi. That's about what we are doing right now. Okay? But now, back to some serious discussion. Serious discussion is, in your book, you have talked a lot about your family members and the times in Shillong and how they migrated, sort of during the partition from erstwhile East Bengal, East Pakistan. And you have talked about your kind of a loony dadu, who used to make a mess of themselves.
He was not from my father's side. He was my mother's uncle.
Yeah, he was your mother's uncle. So all these uncles from different sides, all them put together, and your meshos, and you have a variety of characters. And of
Yeah,
course,
the Brahmo side of my family was pretty zany. They were very eccentric.
exactly. So, what is this? Is this a book on food? Is this a book on what do you call on memoirs? Is it a book on time? Like we have said today that I suggested to our viewers that please come, have a good laugh, shed a tear, because when you go back to this world of innocence from which we have left behind, frankly, it's something that we often feel good about it and feel bad about it both. How have you mixed this whole thing up? That's the question.
Well, it took time. It took time because, as I have said, in the last sentence of my introduction, the theme is an attempt to recapture the past, a past that is lost. It's not there, not only for us, but a past that is not there anymore. It's been bulldozed. So it's what remains is your memory, and that memory has to be given a language, right? So
Right.
that language I try to do that. And for me, most memories come with memories of what I ate with whom, when. So I thought, okay, so let's do that. That's what I attempted to do. So I don't think I can quite categorize this book, whether it's a recipe book. It's in the food and beverages section, obviously, but it's not quite that. It's not just stories. Well, it's let's not define
Stories
it.
which people can, yeah.
Define
I was
it.
wanting to catch you there. I was watching you. I wanted to catch you there because exactly what is this? It doesn't matter. You don't have to define everything. A lot of things happen on their own. And what you have done, and that's been very cleverly done, with each story of your grandmother, who had a snake or lizard chasing her when she was left alone back in the family house in.
A
You remember?
crocodile. A
Yeah, a
crocodile.
crocodile. Yeah, a crocodile. I mean, of not just a
She
lizard.
kept
Sorry.
throwing
Yeah,
pans into its mouth.
yeah, exactly. Right. It's not just a lizard. It was a huge lizard, and a crocodile which came to.
Yeah.
She almost survived. She almost a lizard. Well, I'm not saying people can read that as to what happened with that little. But all this put together, you have also mentioned about couple of each. Some of the chapters do have a recipe at the end. But very interesting thing about your recipe, and this Indrani might also be able to, because she has actually cooked these khanas for Pradeep to do the photography and obviously done the illustrations. Uh, the thing is that you have tried to, I'm not saying you try to wrap it up, but you have made it very easy by giving a maximum 2 or 3 step recipe over. Like these are the things that you need. One, do this. Two, do that. Three, the food is ready.
Well, my target was someone who's new to cooking. A few of them may not be the same, but those who are new to cooking. And the tradition in our family was to have a minimum number of steps, and
Right.
just, yeah. So simple.
Yeah, they were so easy to follow because they were so simply put. I could read the recipe and I could almost taste the recipes if I had, and then I could cook it. And I think when I shared the pictures with Aku, she said, "Yeah, these are the kind of food that
Absolutely.
was fun." Hmm.
It was
Because
amazing.
we were away from I couldn't ask her to taste the food because I was cooking this in Delhi and she was in Calcutta and she couldn't travel. She was supposed to be with me, but she couldn't come because of the restrictions. So I did everything reading her recipe and talking to her on the phone, and then it all came together that way.
Yeah,
Can
I
I?
know.
Yeah, I would like to put up a question over here. But before I put up the question, Nina Rao has a observation on your book. She says that the printing quality of the book did not do justice to my friend Indrani's amazing talent. Well, um, that's something that's how it goes, draw of the lot. And Mitra Fukan says that it's a genre defining book, and such a fantastic one it is, because I have actually obviously done some homework on that before I came to the show over here. And when are you expected to write? Are you planning another edition of this? I'm asking for a different reason.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it actually. I've just been taking it easy for a while.
I know. And this has been published by Hatchet. This has been published by Hatchet. It is already there. And for my viewers, those of you who haven't got a copy of this book, it is already there on Amazon. And it's also there in Amazon US. So anywhere in the world, Amazon will be able to deliver this book to you. Those of you all who are in Delhi, a lot of them I'm sure are in Delhi, and that includes Mr. Abhijit Dutt, who writes, ha 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 ha. He has written that actually. I'm seriously not putting it up. That's a kind of a private joke. But it is available in all the outlets of Bahari Sons. So it's already there. So Amazon, Bahari Sons, and it's there everywhere. Now, the reason I was asking when is the second book likely to come up, the second edition or an updated version or things like that, I'm sure Indrani will be doing the cooking again, and Pradeep will be doing the photography, all put together. So even if
Hopefully, okay. I don't,
no,
hopefully,
so I was just suggesting that in case
hopefully.
I was just suggesting that in case when all that happens, in case Indranee Ghosh cannot turn up like she couldn't the last time, she couldn't go to Delhi. and you all were in Delhi, and I was in Delhi, and maybe you will need a taster to go with it. So
You didn't know each other. You didn't know each
Oh,
other.
we didn't. I'm
that's
asking for a
nice.
different reason. I
So that's where
I
you were
am the
coming.
good I am the good পেটুক বাঙালি রান্নার ইয়ে হবে খাবো না একটু মানে ওই আর কি আচ্ছা
Nishchay,
there,
Nishchay,
there
Nishchay.
and there is this there is one more which says that Alaknanda Datta Mani quote says that she enjoyed the food stories and hi Indy, that's I think to you. Sheila
Hi,
Sanyal.
Alexi.
Hi, hi, and Sheila Sanyal says that can we have a small excerpt of the passage read? So, Indrani, can you read out? Comes on without a P.
What would you want me to read?
Excerpt from the book. Read out
Anything.
a passage. Anything. Read out a passage. Read out that story about that guy from Midnapur who was using some cooker and he said something else.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, do some. Let's have some reading. And while you
This
select the passage,
this is about my mother's one of my mother's eccentric uncles and her favorite, and his name was Prabhat. She called him Prabhat Mama. We called him Prabhat Dadu. Um, okay, I'll read an excerpt. Now, this is my mother speaking. I remember a day when he had come to visit in the evening. Our school reports had come in. So, Biju, he said to Dada, what does your report say? First in all subjects, came the smug reply. Prabhat Mama's face changed suddenly to one of horror. What? He shouted. First? I never came first in class. How dare you? And he strode outside, cut a long switch from a lantana bush, and returned, determined to teach his nephew a lesson. He proceeded to beat him on his calves till he cried for mercy. Then he asked Didi, who was trembling by this time, and you, Puri, what did you get? Second, she whispered. Ah, I never came second as well. You need to be high enough to look down on us. So saying, he lifted her up and sat her on top of the wardrobe from where she couldn't get down. While she was cowering there, he came to me. And you, Rentu? I passed, placed third. Ah, good, good. That's my girl. Let's go out. I'll buy you some fancy shoes. I love those shoes. She also told me about the time when he draped a sari over his trousers, drew a ghomta over his head, a pallu, and paraded in front of her mother's school at lunchtime, leaning on the shoulder of a roommate who was very short. Every time he passed by the school, he yelled, "Gilly, gilly, gilly," in a very high-pitched voice. My grandmother only noticed this when the girls didn't come back to class after the bell had rung, pasted as they were to the school gates, watching this strange spectacle. It's Prabhat, her sister, the assistant headmistress, whispered in my grandmother's ear. Let's ignore him. Girls, come to class, she said, clapping her hands. There's a mad woman out there. This was one instance when he was foiled in his attempt to embarrass his cousins. When he changed jobs and went to Jamshedpur to work at the steel plant, both sisters heaved a sigh of relief. But they were as fond of him as he of them, of course. So when the invitation came for them to spend a few days at his spacious house in Jamshedpur, both of them agreed at once. To prepare for his cousin's arrival, he hired a manservant from a village in Mednipur. He was called John Mayjoy, and he was chosen for his quick answers, and also because of something our Prabhat Mama thought was funny. When John Mayjoy was asked, "What can you cook?" quick came the answer, "Sar, pukare tuk." After many more questions as to the method of cooking this exotic dish, it emerged that he meant vegetable stew cooked in the ikmik cooker. In Bengali, it should have been kukare stew. A short description of the ikmik cooker, should I read that?
Well, yeah, I suppose many of them do not know what that iconic cooking system.
Okay,
Yeah.
a short description of the ikmik cooker is in place before I go on with the story. The Ikmik cooker existed in the days before the pressure cooker or the crock pot. It went out of use because of the scarcity of charcoal. It consisted of a tall brass container with handles containing within it 4 chambers from top to bottom. The bottom chamber was the burner, which was fed with charcoal. Above this were 3 chambers for rice, dal, and vegetables, fish, or meat. You lit the burner, stocked your pots, closed the lid of the container, and went about your business. When you came home for lunch or dinner, there would be a hot meal waiting, redolent with flavors preserved. Okay, now for the story. The sisters arrived in Jamshedpur in October when it was still hot during the day, but after dusk, the heat gradually subsided. They stayed indoors all afternoon with the shutters down, staving off the blaze. After tea, they opened the windows and sat out in the garden waiting for the cool breezes to waft in. This was also when various buzzing insects invaded the house, drawn by the lights inside. "John Mayjoy," they cried out, "for heaven's sake, turn out the lights." After several minutes of waiting, they shouted, "What's wrong?" John Mayjoy came towards them, nervous and sweating. "The lights won't turn off." Both of them rose in alarm. "What? Let's see why." John Mayjoy gravely took them inside and then proceeded to leap up, puffing his cheeks and blowing at the bulbs with all his might to put them out. Poor man thought they were flames. Whatever John Mayjoy's linguistic and urban handicap might have been, the dishes served from the Ikmik cooker were inventive and delicious. The fish in mustard sauce, various stews, and the lazy pulao. One of these stews used vegetables one would not normally use, as for instance, brinjal and pumpkin. These are simply cooked with several large onion slices, peppercorns, bay leaves, and coconut milk. Once they are done, a generous dollop of butter or ghee is added with a garnish of parsley or fresh coriander. A simple dish, yet tasty. As for the lazy pulao, water for the rice is first boiled with julienned ginger and chopped and de-seeded green chilies. Then a tablespoon or 2 of ghee is added to it with the rice, salt, and sugar. These recipes all came down to us from our grandmother, but by the time we started cooking, the Ikmik cooker had fallen into disuse. The slow cooker had not yet arrived, so we simmered on the gas stove or baked on low heat in the electric oven. It was not quite the same.
Very correct. Very correct. What a wonderful story. And yes, I think all of us will agree. The flavors that you got in Ikmik cooker and the convenience, it's not the same with anything that you can try, no matter how electronic gadgets you use for cooking. And it's Sheila says it's wonderfully written, and there you are. So
Thank you.
well, there you are. And Anita woman says hi to you, and Shubha Mengle says hi to everybody, and Arnab Lahiri. Am I right? Yes, Arnab Lahiri has this
Oh,
wonderful
our
thing to say.
friend.
These are your friends. See, I thought
Yes, he was our school friend. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And
But
in
anyway,
fact, I have acknowledged him in the book, in the acknowledgements, you'll see an acknowledgement to Arnab Lahiri because
I think that is what he's saying. It says it's wonderful to see and hear 2 graceful ladies from the near past stroke present. Have tried some of the recipes, and they do take me back. Thank you for the book, which has a reference for me. I think that's the book reference you're talking
Right.
about. But I do know that a large number of people who have come today have come for Indranie and Indranie. But I will request all of you all to stay on with Kahaani Kancheti, like our page, visit our YouTube channel, do all sorts of things, so that will give me a great boost to carry on with our vision of Kahaani Kancheti. And so then you have this another comment before I'm coming to something else. Gopa Ad Sen says that nice to catch up, and hi to everybody there.
Hi.
Okay. Now, Abhijit Dutt has a little comment. He says, incidentally, the Ikmik cooker is now available in an electrical version
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Abhi,
Yeah.
No, but
okay.
it is not the
Yeah.
same.
We didn't
No.
know that. We didn't know that, Abhi.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for telling us that. And Arjun Ghosh has assured me that is going great. I think that is to give me my, they're my cheerleaders, giving me support that I'm doing a great job. So that's what it is. Thank you, Mamu. So this is the Mamu Brigade. Okay, now, Indrani, I want to put up a couple of your illustrations which are with us. Just 1 second. I want
Do
to
you
ask.
do you have the illustration of grandmother
Yeah.
and the grandmother?
I'm bringing that up. That's the one. I
Yes,
want to bring
it,
some of these
it's
up so that
put that up.
you
Can
can
I
tell
read
us.
one passage which I really loved?
Is this
Can
the
I
one
read
you're
one
talking about?
passage?
Is this the one you're talking about?
Uh,
No, this is the jam making.
no, this is the
What is?
jam making. That's
Okay, I'll tell
the
you.
two sisters and mother making jam together in the kitchen.
Okay, okay. So okay, fine. Let me bring up pull up the others. So this is one, and the other is
Grandmother sitting on the ground with the cat next to her.
okay.
Never mind, you can find it later.
No. Let me just. Is this the one you're talking about?
You used it for the
No.
for the poster.
Okay, then it will be here. It's not this one. No, what is
No,
happening
no,
here?
no.
This is a market. This is a fish market in Shillong, I
Yeah,
guess,
this
right?
market. Yeah.
Okay, right. No, we have Sanjay Hazarika. Uh,
Ah,
yes,
hi
wonderful to see.
Sunday.
Hi, Sanjay.
There you are. It's like a family party, as I can see that's happening over here, and I do hope everybody has a stopover at Kahaani Kancheti. But one question to you, Indrani, for the illustrations. I know there has been this jam making. There is this one which is with the fish market and what have we. But on what basis have you on what were like your reasons for picking these up? I mean, why this and not?
Well, while reading the book, I found I actually fell in love with Takuma, that's grandmother. And
Okay.
I had so many images of her doing so many things that I really wanted to paint her. In fact, I would continue to do it in my free time again, not for the book or anything, but for myself. And that little passage that Aku had written about her dressing had really fascinated me. So, uh, uh, mm, I don't know, you can't find that illustration, but
You
you had
keep
used
talking.
it
I'll keep.
for one of the.
Yeah, I'll search it. If I've used it, it must be there. I'll search. You carry on with this.
There's a
This
bundled
discussion.
up old woman sitting at the doorway of her house.
Yeah. I'll just get that. Okay, you have a question here. So while you answer this question, let me search that. You know, the question from Vanita is that what is the tip that you can give to upcoming food writers? All yours.
Upcoming food writers, well, try to keep it simple, I would say. Not very many ingredients, maybe, and just go with your instinct, I would say. Always taste your food
Mm-hmm.
before putting it out. And, well, it has to have some kind of character, you would say, perhaps. I'm not quite sure.
It always helps to
I've
have a
not been
story
a food
behind it.
writer before this. I've not been a food writer before this, so I didn't reckon on giving advice. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's
And
the
Yeah.
one.
Aku had written. Can I read a little bit about her?
Yeah.
About
Please
Please,
do,
please
grandma?
go ahead.
please do.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah, uh, Aku has written, Indrani has written, if one were to ask me then what Hakuma looked like, I would be lost for an answer. All I could say was that she looked nothing like my neat Dida, that's my maternal grandmother, or like any of the other grandmothers I knew. For one thing, I couldn't really tell whether she was fat or thin, The winters in Shillong were sometimes severe, but seeing Grand Thakuma, even severest winter or would admit defeat. Her face was small, but her head appeared 10 times as large. This was because she would don a balaclava on top of which she tied a small quilt with strings attached under her chin like a bulbous scarf. Draped over all this was her usual ghomta. I have no idea how many layers of petticoats or chemises she wore, but over these she wore Thakudada's old lawyer's robe, and then came the widow's white dhoti. Sometimes on cloudy November days she wore a quilt around her like a cloak. If you saw her in the dark, you wouldn't recognize her as human. And because of this description, I try to make her head appear, large, and her cotton sari draped around her, looking like a bundle, sitting in the sunlight, reading her books. She had a tub full of books. All this is Aku's writing, which I was trying to depict in my illustration. And the cat was always around her, Piku. And of course, her food on the plate was neglected because she was so engrossed in reading the same stories over and over again from her books. And I think it's so beautiful. Thank you, Aku, for
Oh, but
letting get.
this is a wonderful visualization. This is really wonderful.
Really,
Yeah.
really. And no, and that's the reason.
Particularly
Again,
because we had all kinds of odds and ends in her house. And
yeah, yeah.
Indrani has sort of brought them in,
I
right?
think this is now we are getting into a different Thompson situation. Now from Indrani and
Because
Indrani, we
our
are moved to
endings are
Aku
also
and Piku,
similar.
which phonetically sounds the same. So we are still in the mess. Anyway, you all know who is who. By the way, three comments here which I think I need to share. One is from Pradeep Bhatnagar. He says the great discussion between two extremely talented ladies of Shillong. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Ratnaboli Bose has said that she's loving the Adda, and Indrani and
Thanks.
Indranai are looking forward to
Thank
reading the
you.
book. So great to see you. If you notice, she has said nothing about me. So I guess I'm not to be counted.
I think, Munna, you better say something quickly.
Yeah, yeah, please say that. Make me
Yes.
feel good. Okay. And
Oh,
Sahana
yes,
says that it's
yes.
wonderful, rich and layered book, a valuable social history too. Yes, that I think is very important. I think that's a very important point. Social history too, in a way, Malgudi days air too. So evocative of the time and the taste. Brilliant illustrations. Yes, perfect match, right? The recipes are really great. We are slowly making our way through them. Thank you. So it's happening. It's happening. Omio Babu says it's nice work. Thank you, Omio Babu. And yeah, Ratnavuli has made amends, I must say. She has said that, hi, Shujit, like you're trying to. Thank you, Ratnavuli. The day is late. Uh, and Devi Nair says, looking forward and enjoying the book. Indy and Indrani. Oh, that was, I didn't know that. Maybe I could have done that from the minute one. Indy and Indrani. But again, who is Indy, who is Indrani? Double E and I'm okay, right. Okay, now there's one point you mentioned just now, Indy. I think that's your Indy, are you? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You were talking about the cat, that grandma's picture. You were describing the illustration. And as a part
Uh,
of the illustration, you mentioned Bedal, the cat, which is there.
uh.
So, can we have a live audience with the cat?
Oh God, I don't know
Oh,
where they are at the time.
Yeah, yeah,
Let
bring them
me
into
see
the
if I
live show.
can
Why should only we be talking? They are also. All right. There's one point I wanted to mention, and for that, my apologies. I wanted to show some of the pictures, two, three that I have received from Pradeep Dasgupta, who has done all the food photography. Well, all of you all know Pradeep. Unfortunately, there is some technical hitch. It is happening. Many times trying to bring it up to share them, it is becoming dark. So I can't show them to you, but I'm sure all of you all will pick up the book and read it. So please see it. They are actually one of the finest work that one has seen in maybe for a very long time, particularly when it comes to food photography. So
There,
there. So Pradeep, sorry for this, but and sorry to everybody for this little technical. These things happen, and there is a there we have
He
a
was fast asleep actually.
oh, poor girl.
oh,
She's so sweet. There she is. Okay, right now my question to both of you all, as I think we are
we're
now
also both cat persons, you know.
oh cat persons, right? How come?
Yeah.
How come we have known each other for such a long time? Because I am a dog person. And yeah, that's exactly what Sheila says, that it's really
That's
so
okay.
cute
We
to this
like
dog
dogs
coming
also.
into.
Yeah, so cute.
So, yeah, it's really so cute. Absolutely. And that's the reason I thought I must have some. Uh, well, where do we go from here? Your the book that both of you have worked on with Pradeep's photograph, I think, is a literally, believe you me, and Kahaani Kancheti does a whole lot of these book launches and book discussions and stuff like that, not only for friends but also for publishers. This is a book that should be in the library. It's a book that you can read. It's a book that you can use. That's the best part of the, and the book which you can experience because of the illustrations and the photographs. So it's a kind of it's a kind of a three in one. Believe me, there's some books are very good stories, some books are very well produced, some books are pictures, but this you got a whole process happening within the covers. So that I think is something that everybody should pick up a copy. Aku, I think I've done my marketing. Yeah.
I think really our
I mean,
childhood and, my writing, her illustrations. Also, I remember, do you remember how we used to experiment with developing and printing photographs and enlarging and so on in Jodhpur Park?
yeah. I think you did it later with Mukul and with Mukul and
That's right.
Probir, all of
Yes.
you.
Yes, right.
That's that. I think we had lost sort of being in touch around that time.
Yeah, we
So,
lost
but I
touch. Yeah.
used to hear about you. Yeah,
Yeah. So I
doing
think,
this. Yeah.
that past books along and the, shared experience that we had here. Um, and then Kuku's career going into visual arts, mine going into writing and teaching and so on. I think it all came together in the book. And that is why I really do think
Yeah.
it's a very precious book for me.
It
Right.
is. For me
Okay.
too, really, really.
Now I'm asking what I should have asked the first question and bring it up right in the end. What is meant by smoked, spiced, pickled, preserved? No, I know there are four. These are four cooking. What do you call it?
No, these are for preserving food. Actually, these are processes of preserving food, right?
Oh,
Smoking, pickling,
Okay.
you know, uh, and so on.
and
But
okay,
no, I thought that it was also a metaphor for the stories. Maybe it's a metaphor for us also. We are also smoked, pickled, and preserved. Yeah.
well, smoked and preserved I can
And we
understand.
are spicy. And we are also
Yeah,
spicy.
spiced and pickled I'm not very sure, but
Spiced, yes,
smoked and
spiced. Of
yeah,
course,
spiced.
spiced.
Yes, yeah, spiced. Yeah, we are spiced.
Full of
Yes, right.
spice.
So, because I thought it was something like a English version of what we bongs call. There are four varieties of enjoying food, which is called chobo chosho lejopeo. Now,
Mm-hmm.
in case you all
Mm,
don't know
right.
my
Yes,
my
yes,
level
yes.
of bong, oh you all know. Okay, so sorry I couldn't impress you all.
Mm.
I thought I was impressing the ladies with my bong knowledge. So since I have failed, I'll
No,
take it
no,
over
we are
there.
impressed. Actually, that's a great thought.
Yeah,
Oh,
Great thought. Yeah.
chopeo. Yeah, yeah. What
thank you.
to
Yeah.
drink, to chew, to suck, and so on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how it happens. Yeah.
yeah.
So, and yes,
So
and
if
Gopal,
you
thank you.
ever overeat at somebody's
Yeah,
dinner, you say, "Oh, chobo chosho lecho peo ek gada jinis
right.
diyeche."
I
God.
take, ha. And as far as bongs are concerned,
Yeah.
bongs, we Bengalis are concerned, invariably after a beer meal, when we were young, we must have, if you remember, we used to find the elders walking towards a pan bidi shop, from where they would order what was called bicarb of soda.
Ha.
Yeah, which basically meant a soda to use as a digestion, no, sodium bicarbonate. That was basically
Yes.
what it was. Yeah.
Sodi
Okay.
bicarb. It is sodi
Sodium
bicarb.
bicarb, sodium bicarb. So sodium bicarb and Ranjika Shukla, delightful experience. Thank you, Sujit, Indrani, and Kat. Oh, lovely. And the glimpse of Pradeep handing over the cat. So there you are, the glimpse of Pradeep handing over the cat and is also a part of the story today. So that's why we
Hi,
say,
Radhika.
Don't you think Pradeep should show his face? He took all the photographs.
yeah, he took all the photographs, and I'm
Face.
feeling so bad that but we will have
You
this
can show
up.
your
We'll,
face.
we can, yeah, if you can show your face, Pradeep. Uh,
Hello.
there you
And
are. Hello.
hello. A little more.
A
It
little
is
more, Arektu.
Oh my God.
Arektu,
Hey,
hi,
well,
Arektu, hi. Family portrait. ठीक है, चलेगा.
warmly
Great.
clad in why not?
Yeah. Wearing a jacket and sweater and everything. I can't imagine.
I know this is like
Wow. How
okay.
lucky.
Nina says she loved this conversation
Everybody
between
thinks
two.
Kerala is confined to Cochin.
Right, right. And yes, before you go away, Pradeep, Nina loves this conversation with these two spicy ladies. Wow. And of course, Sujit. I must be the preserved part of it, the and Pradeep, there is a hello for you. There is a hello for you coming from Oloklonda. This is directly addressed to you,
Ah,
Pradeep.
yeah, look.
Right. Okay. So I think we have had a wonderful chat, and we had planned, we had kept it like an adda, and this is what we in Kahaani Kancheti we love doing is to run addas in these talk shows, whether it's a book or whether it is discussing theatre, whether it is discussing cinema, music, whatever. And I only hope that all of you all who had come and attended this have thoroughly enjoyed. I'm using that adjective. Thoroughly enjoyed, and you had as the bong say, a
It was
terrific time.
terrific.
Yeah, and please do tell us how you enjoyed. Please visit our website. Please go to our Facebook page from where you're watching this and say how you liked it, or don't say you didn't like it. I'm sure you all must have liked it. So do all that. Please attend our shows. Please follow us. Ah, hello, he is back again. Okay. Ah, go sweet.
We take it out.
Hooray. Good job.
Cute. Absolute dolls. And Mitra Fukan says it's a wonderful adda. And there's a little bit of an added compliment for me, after which I'll close this. Is this book available online? Yes, this book is available online. Is the book is available online? Says Sheila. Yes, I'll get you a copy of this. Don't worry. I'll sponsor this copy because it's Aku's book and I'll get Aku to sign it. And Gopa says it's a Darun Adda. And Rajan. Rajan, he says that it's wonderful
Rajan.
ladies,
Rajan from Mauritius. Wow. Wonderful
right?
lady and a young guy. Wow.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's why.
That's
That's why
all
I.
that means. Preserved. Yeah, spiced and preserved.
That's why I insisted that I must show this.
He's the
আজকাল মাঝে মাঝে
preserved
আমাকেও
one.
বলে বুঝলি তো Okay.
Thank you
Look
so
forward to-
much. Thank you so
No,
much.
it really enjoyed. This was like, and remember I was telling you we must have a enjoyable adda. And then the Arnob Lahiri has added saying that three of you smoked, spice, pickled, preserved, button jarred. কি সব লিখেছে ইংরেজিতে। So, okay, Aku, your books are selling like hotcakes. Like hot meat. Ratnabuli says somebody wants a signed copy. Okay, and Sheila Sanyal says Amazon পাওয়া যাবে, নিশ্চয়ই পাওয়া যাবে. I'll get you a copy from Amazon. Don't worry about it. I will get Aku to sign it when I'm back
And
in
the
Kolkata.
audio sing, but not
Oh,
what?
but not. But one question. Sorry, I forgot. This is one last question. What did you mean by you have a recipe of something called nirimish mangsho? How can mangsho be nirimish? Vegetarian mutton curry?
Niri means when you don't use garlic, onion, and garlic and onion. Yeah, that means it's without the Amish spices. That's all.
Oh,
So
acha.
it is just cooked with fennel and ginger.
It's wonderful. It tastes So
Yeah,
good.
Yes,
You all have to try
she
it.
did all that. You see, we were supposed to meet. I was supposed to cook. She was to style it, Pradeep to take the photographs. And then the pandemic sort of put us, spanner in the
I
works.
see that.
But I think she's done a better job.
Right. Okay.
No.
And yeah, no, no,
You
it's a great book. Yeah, Pradeep. Yeah, hello. Nilanjana is here.
My
Uh,
my my sincere advice to everybody who's listening in is that Niramish Mangsho is a recipe that you have to try. It is probably the best preparation of Mangsho I've ever had.
Oh, thank you so much, Pradeep.
yes, 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 yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in which case, I have one of our very good friends and friend of Pradeep, and Abhi Dutt. He is here with us. Arjun Ghosh. Arjun, I know, is a mutton freak. I mean, he swears by mutton breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Mm.
almost. So I think, Mamu, oi, Niramish Mangsho, I know you're clued onto this program right now. So we have to get a copy and learn the art of making Nidamish Mangshu. And Rita Roy, friend of yours,
Yeah.
says that
Hi. Hi, Rita.
okay. So good to see all of you all. Yes, and good to oh, some of you
Rajan
feeling
is
hungry
feeling
already.
hungry.
And yes, there are more takers for Nirimish Mangsho. So with that,
I know.
Nirimish,
See you,
with that,
Abhijit.
yes.
Yeah.
So with that
Yes.
Niramish Mangsho story and all the other stories that we have discussed, I first want to thank all this large number of viewers who have completely very interactive participating with us, which was the best part, and that's how you know things are happening.
Yes.
Instead of just one of those who say that I'm here and then the last is thank you. But in between we have a
I,
lot of
I know.
yeah.
I hate
So
that.
yeah, and I feel like crying because I think এত করলাম এই লাস্টে থ্যাংক ইউ বলে চলে গেল so it's a bit like that. So and disappointment is that those pictures of Pradeep, some technical error. But
Yes.
anyway, yeah, I
Yes.
know. But take a look at, but buy the book. Man, see it
But
in real
anyway,
time.
they'll find it in the book.
In
Yeah.
real time, yeah, and this all in the book. So and illustrations, well, that's it. So Indranee, I have stood by my point. The illustrations are, yeah. What's happening? Pradeep there, coming in.
Pradeep, Pradeep.
I have one small comment to
Yeah.
make. Indrani Double. It's such a beautifully written book. I am sincerely telling you, it's really so well written. And your descriptions of Shillong and your life and your relatives and your life there is so beautifully portrayed in words that you can actually see it in front of your eyes as you're reading it. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I felt.
It's been very easy for me to illustrate and also to
Thank you
cook.
So
so
it's not
much.
just a
Also,
recipe book.
I know, also
It's
to
not just a
photograph.
recipe book.
It was really, it's so beautifully worded.
Thank you
So
so
that
much.
made
It's
things
so
so much
heartening.
simpler.
So heartening.
Yeah. And you all too have been called vivacious. A lovely session with two vivacious.
Wow, so many things.
Hardly.
I'm
Hey.
hearing new things.
It can't get better. It can't get better. Nirimish Mangso, yes,
I
Radhika,
feel like
Nirimish Mangso
going
would be.
back to those days, putting on makeup and going out dancing now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, lovely. Oh, wow,
Right.
wow,
We used
wow.
to do that, We used to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
She used to
and
come
by
to
the
my
way,
place and dress up, and then my mother would do our eyes and stuff, and then
this
we
is
would
what?
go
This
off
must be
to
the Farm
parties
Avenue
and
days, huh?
dance. Yes.
Oh, the Shillong days. Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. And Rajika says Niramish Mangsho, she suggests, would taste wonderful in an electric cooker, egg cooker. It
Yeah,
probably would
I'm
cook.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
slow cooking
yeah.
is
Slow
for all
cooking. There you are.
things. I would say slow cooking is
Okay. So I'm expecting a whole lot of people to like the Kahaani Kancheti page and attend to our things regularly. Go to our website. By the way, this show is going to be up on our YouTube channel. We will put up the link. We will pass on the link to these two ladies in about an hour's time. This is going to be up on YouTube. So whenever you want to tell your friends to come and take a look, you can do that. See it yourself once again. And with that, Indranie and Indranie, I am now, after this is over, maybe I'll have to, I'll feel little comfortable, trying not to mix up the two Indranis, which I understand happened for a very stupid reason because there were seven and they had to change their names.
Yeah.
এরম কখনো শুনিনি So thank you very much for coming to the Kahaani Kancheti platform. And Aku, please learn all this. These are new words I'm learning. Platform. We are on a digital platform, whatever that means. Huh?
Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah.
I know
yeah, yeah,
this is so
yeah.
strange.
Yeah, we are on a digital platform, so we'll be talking in digital terms. So, thank you very much for coming and joining us, and thank all my audience for helping us put through a very exciting, interacting, and a really a lovely session. Thank you. With
Thank
that,
you. Thank you.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you all.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks so
Bye,
much.
Pradeep. Bye, Pradeep.
Bye,
Bye.
Pradeep.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Kuku. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. He's saying bye, bye, bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Thanks, Shruti. That
Thanks.
was
Thanks.
wonderful, guys.
Well, that's
Absolutely.
wonderful.
Bye,
Yeah.
Apu.
Bye. Bye.
We'll see
Bye,
each
Kuku.
other
Bye.
soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Okay. I think we have to stop now because otherwise this will become like the story that I know, which is another story we'll tell later about saying byes and it going on for the next 1 hour.
Bengali goodbyes are always very long,
Yeah, absolutely. So we have to
Half
cut
an hour
then.
away.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. See you. See you.
Bye. We have now we have ended the broadcast.